It is Thursday. RawMikeRichards.com broadcasting live from the DKI studios in downtown Toronto. 234 King Street East. Out of the Pacific Junction Hotel. Coming up today, well, I got a little bit of everything. Including the... I don't know if you've seen about those that Thai soccer team, Dave, that's stuck in that cave.
That's nuts. And now they're figuring out how the hell they're going to get them out.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know how they're going to do it.
No.
They don't know how they're going to do it. They have all these ideas.
Yeah, I heard it for the first time, I guess, a couple days ago. They found them, which was a miracle.
I don't... How did they find them?
I don't know. and then the guy's sitting there going, we're not sure when these guys are going to come out. I'm like... No, today, now.
Yeah. You know what they're saying? Well, you know, the rainy season's over in October.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I don't know. So we're gonna show you a couple of examples of those that rescue people for a living.
Oh, very cool.
Like there's a guy who's like
Sylvester Stallone in
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what are the odds in that movie where Stallone loses his wife right when he's trying to grab her?
Yeah, first scene.
He's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna get you. No.
Yeah. Exactly. So we like the same movies.
Yeah. And then the girl from the short-haired girl that was supposed to be the pretty one.
Yeah.
And then right at the end of the movie, what are the odds? She's on like a rope thing.
I know.
He's like, hey, grab hold of my head.
And he makes up for it.
And then she slips again. He's like, oh, not this time.
And there's the movie.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Show's over. It's like
You just saved us an hour and 45 minutes.
I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Including Steven Seagal movies.
What are the odds?
You know.
Yes. That, it would have been great. He drops her too at the end. It's like, damn it, 0 for 2.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
See, that's what they would do now. In the day, there were happy endings. But now the millennials, those little pricks, they're like, well, life isn't always happy, so she dies again. So the hero loses both women? Yeah. And then what happens? Let the credits roll. And then we look at our black fingernail polish. We listen to a band called Fun, and we get depressed, and we go on Facebook. That's a great movie.
That's right, Russell.
Yeah. We do have some Steven Seagal stuff that we can get to. A real Steven Seagal in Aikido, which is that's the martial art that he's supposed to be famous for, and he's like throwing about 27 guys around. Ooh. And then I've got okay. Then I've got him doing something that I don't know if people know that he does. This is from 2014 in Spain. It's going to freak you out.
I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say
It's going to freak you out. You're going, okay, what is this? What does this have to do with Steven Seagal? No, this is what he does.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Lang is watching, and I know you are obsessed by it too.
Of course he is.
You must see what I'm going to play coming up. Also, as the John Tavares craze continues, someone had just put it on. Now, Jim McKenney, who used to do sports here in Toronto.
Yes.
It was called City Pulse News.
Russell was a reporter for them as well.
No, now he could be. Back then, they had real people who got paid good money to do a good job. Jim McKenney was a real character, former Toronto Maple Leaf. But they used to do that, and they still do, the Athlete of the Week.
Yes.
This one, a 14-year-old John Tavares.
Ah, very cool.
It is weird to look at the thought of this guy, where he has ended up in his life. And as Dave and I talked about the other day, how at times unrealistic it is in this day and age when you have, a league that you aspire to play in. You become a superstar or one that's very prevalent, a blue chip guy. The odds of you playing in your own hometown are very, very small. I don't know what the percentage is.
Tiny.
But it'd be tiny. You go back and look at this, and you know what would be interesting is play this in front of them and go, okay, there you are, 14 years old. Did you? Even in fantasy, and we all fantasize as kids, I was Mike Palmetier, I was making huge saves. Could you even see this coming? Because I can tell you what, if you imagined the money, JT, if you imagined that this would be your salary back then at 14,
no kidding.
You're greedy.
Yeah.
You were one greedy little dreamer.
Yeah.
Because when I fantasized as a kid about playing, it was about playing. The money, you knew you'd be well paid, but it was more about me.
Wasn't even a consideration.
Yeah, me. There I am. I'm probably wearing number 1. I always wore number 1. and I'm making, but I'm got the Palmetier mask on, which would have been really weird to copy someone else's mask completely that looks so different. Making huge, stacked pad saves, feet way up in the air. That was the fantasy. It wasn't that I was going to make like $100 million.
Hey, what was going through your mind when Palmetier was traded to the Capitals?
I was depressed. That hurt.
That
hurt bad.
Because Palmetier was the guy.
But at that point, I realized there were such back issues.
Yeah.
He always had back issues.
Sure.
That at that point, as much as it hurt, even then, you started to see it coming a little bit. But I mean, that's like lose. Okay, so Dave Keon when he jumps to the WHA,
yes,
that was crushing.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't, as a kid, and I should have known. There's my uncle's the trainer of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the stuff between him and Harold and everything else.
Oh yeah. Now that you're older, you understand. You've heard the stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, because people ask me all the time about Dale Howardchuk trade to Buffalo, right? Which was devastating. But at the time, you almost felt that it was the right thing to do. And when you look back at it, Phil Housley was an awesome trade, and both teams won the deal.
Yes.
The only thing I look back and say, I wonder if it would have been different is. There was Mike Smith was the general manager at the time, and he was negotiating with a couple teams. One of them was Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh had offered their 5th overall pick in that draft year. The Jets said no to it. It was Jaromir Jagr.
Okay.
So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's kind of like, oh, imagine that. Because
but every time, Dave, when you get in these scenarios,
I know.
The
Jagr goes to the Jets and he turns into crap. You know what I mean? Like you never know, right?
Well, what was the one? The Leafs that ended up getting the goalie. Was it?
Which one was that?
With the Boston Bruins.
Oh, Andrew Raycroft for Tuukka Rask, for young prospect Tuukka Rask. Yeah. I've never heard of Tuukka Rask. Looks like a great Finnish goaltender. 1st round pick the year before Pogge. We'll ship him off to Boston, see how it turns out. Because
look at that. Justin Pogge was supposed to be a blue chip guy.
Those were the 2 goalies they were figuring out. Which one are we keeping? Which one are we dumping? They dump the guy that becomes a Vezina Trophy winner. They keep the guy that's now playing in Russia.
Yeah, see, and I got obviously I got fairly close with. Well, I called him Pokes.
Yeah, he was a good guy. And you know what? Calgary Hitman. Did you tell me he was the best player in the CHL? He was.
Yeah, remember the World Juniors.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just one of those things where in trying to predict going from one level to the next level that they carry on blue chip status, it's not as common as people think. So therefore, when certain trades are made and certain number ones go here or certain draft picks, it's really ballsy of just a fan to go, yeah, well, look what happened because 2 years later. Yeah, sure, two years later.
No.
But you can't say that, for instance, there's a lot of examples. People just assume because you saw an Austin Matthews, a Connor McDavid, that one after one, when these players come out, that they are the dominant player and will continue that. Like, I mean, for Jack, why am I drawing a blank then?
Jack Eichel?
Eichel.
Yeah.
Like, obviously a substantial player.
Very.
But, I can't put him in because he doesn't do the same. Doesn't play the same position, but as you're looking at a Connor McDavid or an Austin Matthews, it's not as easy as you. Like, for instance, there was a time where Dion Phaneuf was the blue chip guy.
Oh, was he
goes
ever?
Right from junior and goes right to Calgary.
I still remember him being drafted and Daryl Sutter sitting on the stage with him, and he's smiling ear to ear. And Daryl Sutter doesn't do that often.
Well, no, never.
and they were like sitting there going, they got themselves somebody from Red Deer.
Well,
and it was like boom.
And here's the thing too, that because of that lockout year, that World Junior team that they had in North Dakota.
I was at that tournament too. Yeah.
They didn't let a goal in for how they do minutes. It was like
forever,
like 2,000 minutes or something. Who does the stats on this?
And it's not like they had a good goaltender because it was Jeff Glass.
See, I would have lost that trivia.
Yeah, Jeff Glass was not. You look at everybody in front of Jeff Glass. You sat there and went, "Holy crap!"
They were all NHLers.
Oh yeah,
and blue chip guys who went on to have big careers.
There you go. Some guy named Sid Crosby too.
I mean, it's like, come on.
Yeah, Getzlaff, Perry, You talked about Phaneuf, but the goaltending was not, the other one was Reggie Beauchemin for Philadelphia Flyers. He was a Winnipegger, backup goalie, never ended up really doing much.
Bergeron on that team too?
Patrice Bergeron might have been on that team. I'd have to look it up. We're just going off the top.
But that is ridiculous.
It was awesome.
It doesn't always work out the way you think.
Speaking of people that watch the show, Steve Rapp was watching yesterday's show and had a chuckle. We talked on the phone yesterday. Had a chuckle about Ray Bourque, because he was laughing at our Ray Bourque segment, and he said, you know who else fits into that criteria? And I said, fire away. Rob Blake. Rob Blake left the longtime Rob Blake, Los Angeles Kings, leaves,
good point.
Wins a Stanley Cup. So
look at Stephen Rapp doing all these things.
And you know what? Not only is he's a smart guy, he's a good host. He had the whole family over this weekend. We went swimming, had a barbecue at the Rapps compound in Whitby. It was awesome.
Not the most awesome pool party you could have.
It was, well, you know what? I'm looking for another contender to step up and see if they can match Steve Rapp.
We should get him over to our place.
I know.
Yeah. Did he charge you anything? Like, did you have to pay $7.99 a person? Or anything?
No.
So he's let that go. That's nice. Nice to see that.
Amazing barbecue. We had ribs, chicken, the whole fixings, corn on the cob. It was awesome. Met the whole family, and the kids met his granddaughter, Brooklyn, and my kids are still talking about her today.
Oh, good.
So,
that's awesome. We appreciate that, young Stephen Rapp. See what I did there for you?
Hey, put the young in there. I love it.
Speaking of young, so here's JT, Athlete of the Week. So this is Jim McKinney. This is going back to when John Tavares was 14 years old. And when you think of those that were destined to be great, going back to City Pulse News and Jim McKinney, I got to tell you, this is a little.
Yeah, 14 years later, he's a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Like, this is so strange to look at. It's so strange to look at. City Pulse, who have always done Athlete of the Week, 14 years old, someone named John Tavares.
And one of the most amazing athletes that I've ever met is lacrosse great John Tavares, tremendous player and a special ed teacher who's loved by his students. He's got a nephew who's picked up the genes and the name. He's our City Pulse Sports Athlete of the Week.
Athlete of the Week.
Despite being just 14 years old, Toronto Marlborough's minor midget forward John Tavares has already played a handful of games in Junior A hockey, scoring at almost a point-a-game clip. He comes by his offensive talent genetically. His uncle is one of the most prolific scorers in the history of professional lacrosse.
How you use lacrosse to develop some hockey skills.
It's very fast, which helps me in hockey because hockey's a fast game too. When the ball moves around, it helps my hand-eye coordination.
His one-on-one skills are incredible, and they've always been there, but he's added the other dimension, and he's realized that when he uses the guys around him, it spreads it out, makes more room for him, and makes us better as a group.
How do you develop your one-on-one skills?
I practiced a lot in my basement. When I was really young, I used to roll around in my basement, just shoot pucks all day for hours. Now I got a friend who's got his rink in his backyard. I go over there and we play against each other all the time.
He sees the game tremendously. He makes plays that even baffle us on the bench, and the rest of the kids get a chuckle at sometimes.
Congratulations, Johnny! You're this week's City Pulse Sports Athlete of the Week.
That is unbelievable and bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
If you could fast forward, how often do you see the Athletes of the Week now on any of the? Well, if you're lucky enough to have local sports news,
which doesn't happen often anymore, unfortunately.
No, but that was a Rogers property, so Rogers still keeps doing it.
The best.
So, I mean, I wonder how he looks back on that. Because how do you see now? Did he feel that he'd be in the NHL? So of course, he dreamt of that. But to this level, this status, and in Toronto to boot.
Yeah,
that's what I find.
Well, it's funny because he's born in 1990, so that was when he's 14 years old. Yeah, double his age, and he's now the talk of the town.
Of the entire league.
Yeah, and wearing the jersey and likely going to be the captains. I know they haven't really talked.
Do you think they'll announce that soon?
I don't know. I think they should. But then how does it look on the rest of the team, right? But you have to think 28 still has a lot of volume left. Do you oversee a 20-year-old over a 20? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, because the reality
that's nice, but
if I'm looking at it and look, the captaincy is big in most towns, but it's magnified in Toronto
big time.
Because of who they've had and how long they've done it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to wear a C, there's a lot of guys who wore the C that are all in the Hall of Fame. So if I'm looking at it, and I'm currently on the team, and I'm Austin Matthews, I'm Morgan Riley, I'm maybe some of those that have been on the team, and people have whispered from time to time, are they good enough to have the C? If I understand that John Tavares is coming to our team, and I'm either of those guys, am I really putting up any sort of stink saying,
shouldn't be?
I think I deserve the C.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those guys would do that, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either. I think, when everything's said and done, what's going to happen is John Tavares will be the captain. Austin Matthews will get an assistant captain, and I look at like a Morgan Riley.
Yeah, Morgan Riley. I'm going. I think he's got a great maturity.
And if you add another, A, because some teams do have 3 assistants, then you'd start to have a little bit of a debate. Is it Mitch Marner?
See, that's why I go to. I go the 2 that you just said,
because it's really easy, right?
Yeah.
There's no other defenseman that deserves an A on this team, and then up front you kind of go, okay, do we go here? Do we go there? Do we, So leave it at that, 1 and 2, and you're fine, right?
Like if Marlowe, because of his experience and stuff like that, if I wanted to go down that road.
And he's a former captain, right?
So I can see that.
But the thing is, Marlowe has another year on his contract, or another 2 on his contract. So it's and he's almost a leader without a letter anyway.
Right. That's why I go 2.
Yeah,
that's why I go 2. Before we get to Ryan Turner, his show is called False East, coming up and featured in the Toronto Fringe Festival, as you know,
30th anniversary, by the way.
30th and around really North America. You can find young team, boys soccer team in Thailand, getting stuck in an underground cave that is now surrounded by treacherous water. And again, how they're going to get these young men out, or children. They're really children is what I should say. They're not young men, they're children. And those that have made their way in there, somehow finding them, and are going to stay until they can get them out. But getting them out, easier said than done. And property and courtesy of CBC's The National, this is what they're up against.
Under a kilometer of rock, escape seems so daunting. The only current path, swim, largely underwater for 2 kilometers, navigating through this narrow path, too tight to wear oxygen tanks on your back. Then swim 30 meters straight up to fully flooded areas hundreds of meters long. All of it in pitch black conditions. Finally, use climbing gear to get to the surface. And one more thing, the boys don't know how to swim.
That's an incredibly daunting task, even for an experienced diver. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. I really don't.
Commercial diving instructor Aaron Griffin says it would normally take years to get the training needed. It is clear they'd aim to use full face masks with airlines built right in, strapped tight so they don't slip off.
It's not as simple as just putting a mask on someone and hauling them out and hoping for the best.
Rescuers, though, may have little choice. Even though they're pumping the cave system, water levels could still rise, even drowning out the small air pocket that the group has been in for the last 10 days. The rainy season doesn't end until October, so staying could mean months more underground.
I would favor looking really hard at getting people out quickly.
For diving medicine researcher Neil Pollack, there are 2 key concerns with waiting.
The risk of waste management alone, even if they have food supplies laid in for a several month stay, it could get quite problematic just to manage water and waste over that period of time for a group of people.
And secondly,
the psychological stress. It is a huge burden for these people, especially a range of kids from 11 to 16.
Even on the ground in Thailand, there is likely debate about what to do now, stay or leave. But from those who regularly rescue Canadians from caves, there is one very big and very good sign already.
At least to find them alive is a great outcome, and there's really hope for more success.
We are coming. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming.
And those rescuers have returned, some staying with the boys to keep them engaged, bringing high-energy liquid food. David Coleman, CBC News, Toronto.
Incredible story, once again, from CBC The National, on how they're going to get these kids out. I've never quite seen a story like that. There has been stories of survival and incredible rescues, But this one isn't answered yet. This is not done, so I guess we wait to see what happens there. You're watching Raw Mike Richards either on the website or the dedicated YouTube channel. We have the Fringe Festival. It's 30th year, and for those that go to the Fringe Festivals around North America, because they're all the place, and what is interesting about the Fringe Festival is sometimes it's the genesis of where ideas that might be smaller at the time grow into bigger ideas. It sends people along on a career path that maybe in the beginning they didn't see coming, but through the almost experimentation, which is why it's called the Fringe Festival. Some really amazing things happening. This morning we have Ryan Turner in. Your show is called False East.
Yeah, that's the show.
So is it about liars? What is it about?
Well, it's got a bit of an interesting backstory. My producing partner, writing partner, acting buddy. We're big fans of Sam Shepard, who's kind of an American playwright who passed away last year and eventually kind of went on. And the second half of his career he was an actor,
right.
Academy nominated, and just like a man's man. You know,
sure
what I mean?
it is. He was always in a tough guy movie.
Yeah. So anyway, he has this great play called True West, and not the most creative title. We got into the Fringe late. We were on the waiting list. So anyway, so we're like, oh, we should write our own piece. You know what I mean? And because it was just the time that we had to get the rights and things like that, and with being artists in the city, it's tough to get the funding for these things in a short amount of time. So we tried to write our own piece that kind of paid homage to Sam Shepard's style, and then we made it about Toronto, and we. It's a very male-dominated cast, so we tried to open that up, and the Fringe is a very open and environment, I guess. So we brought in two female friends of ours who are really talented, and kind of were able to take the best of all those worlds.
So why don't you explain to those who aren't familiar with the Fringe Festival, and again, it's across the country, they're in all different cities, what is the idea behind it, Fringe Festival?
I think the Fringe Fest is just like an awesome opportunity for artists of all kind in the city that are involved with theater or that just love performance to some degree, or have a message that they want to get across. It's by far the best way to be able to do a show. It's not easy to do a show in the city, to book a space, to find it, to be able to get it for set amount of nights, to be able to receive coverage for your show from magazines, newspapers, things like that. So the exposure and the opportunity is incredible, and they do make it so easy for you. I don't understand how the Fringe Festival, they're able to organize all this stuff, because they do 150 shows, and just me alone, I probably sent at least 60 emails, and they were all responded to within like a day or two. I'm like, I was expecting computer generated responses, but yeah, so it's just a great, and like for me and my buddy, we just want to do that. We wanted to put up our own show. We're not expecting it to go to Broadway at any point, but it's just it's a good excuse to just.
But you don't know. People don't know. That's the beauty of the thing.
Yeah,
like it could become the hot thing, and next thing you know, you are on Broadway.
It's true. Yeah, and that is the beauty of it, because there's quite a few shows that have gone on to success with, even like Come From Away is on King Street right now, and that started.
That was it. New York City that it started in.
I think it started in the Fringe.
Because I thought it was the Fringe Festival in New York where it started, but I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah, I know it started in the Fringe, but I don't know.
From the Fringe, which is incredible when you think about it. Wins Tonys now.
Yeah. Even like Drowsy Chaperone, I know too, was a Fringe Festival show that went on to win a whole bunch of Tonys a few years ago. But yeah, it's just it's by far the best opportunity, and it's I might not, and I'm not necessarily a theater guy. I've done sketch comedy and improv and some film and TV work, but I haven't done much theater.
So what is the background then? If someone looks up Ryan Turner, what are they going to find?
A lot of one-liners. An okay IMDb page with a lot of number ones and number twos beside the character.
See, I've always wanted to be Purse Snatcher 4 or something like that. I thought it'd be great at that.
Honestly, purse snatching on TV is a highly underrated job. It's a lot of fun.
Because it's always the same. It's like the two people are talking, hey, sorry about your grandmother has cancer, and all of a sudden, what? I steal the purse and I go around because I was like, stop that man, and then I don't care, shoot me in the back of the head. Maybe it's a little aggressive these days, I realize, but I'll just go for it. They throw a garbage can top, and they hit me in the back of the head, and I'm run over by a garbage truck or whatever it is, and it's like, who was that guy?
No, those are the best ones. You get a gun, you get to run, you maybe get to bleed a little bit. Usually you die, so there's some sort of explosion.
You know what kills me about those guys? It's like Purse Snatcher 4, played by Oliver Olivier Livingston III. Yeah, you might want to.
Well, I mean, if you have 3 names, I think there's like a good shot. For some reason, people think now, because of all the people that were 3 names, it's like, oh, I gave myself a 3rd name. Not only am I annoying, but
or as the death sentence. Usually, if you're on death row, you got a middle name.
Yeah,
and that middle name is Ray. So you know,
you're either an incredible artist or you're a murderer.
Ray or Lee. If it's in there.
Maybe
you got
even a combination, too. Hyphenated,
That's
too.
right.
So Second City's your background, right?
Yeah. I've trained at Second City.
Yeah. And so with this project, I know the Fringe is actually underway as of yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
When do you guys take the stage, and where are you located in the city? Because a lot of people, maybe don't know this, but it's not like the Fringe happens at one theater or one church basement.
They can happen in the back seat of a bus.
Bingo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And where are you guys located? Where can they find you, and how do they find you? Tell me more.
We opened last night at 10:30 to a packed house of 12 to 15.
Okay.
Which was great. It was great.
15 people? That would having done stand-up, if it's 15 people, I don't like 15 people. 15 people's hard.
It's tough, especially like coming from a comedy background. And I mean, so like I said, I hadn't done much theater, so I was like, I'm even though I know the show, there's still like that part of me that's like, I'm on stage. If I'm not getting a laugh every 2 or 3 minutes, there's a problem.
Yeah,
I'm like,
weird.
no, this is a point in the show that's dramatic. I need to be silent. Silence is good right now. But so we opened last night at 10:30 at St. Vladimir Theater on Spadina. It's just south of Harvard. Not a very well-known theater.
Or well-known saint.
Both.
Saint Vladimir?
A Ukrainian saint. There's
okay.
The theater, I think, sits around 16 to 17 degrees, which is great for right now. But if it drops to 25, you're gonna be frozen in the second half. So bring a sweater.
Does blood drip from the walls? Because I got a feeling that maybe church isn't the right word.
Not yet, but I thought I did see some sort of apparition in the background that might have been St. Vladimir. So it's just but it's a nice space when you're in there. Like it's a perfect little theater for what we're trying to do. 100 seats. If there's 15 people in there, there feels like there's a bit of there's some atmosphere.
Right.
And if it's 100, it's just like it'll.
Yeah, and
feel
hopefully it keeps unpacking after this show. So how many shows do you guys have? How many days do you go? I know the Fringe goes to the 14th, but a lot of Fringe presentations don't go the entire time. When do you guys go?
Yeah, so we have 7 shows in the 10 days. So we have 6 left now. Our next show is Friday at 8:30 this Friday.
Okay.
And then we kind of you can find all the details on fringetoronto.com and get your tickets there as well. So we have 6 shows left, and then we close the day that the Fringe closes.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing I like about the Fringe Festival, and I've been to a couple of them throughout the country here and there, going to just ideas, and you read about them, you see if you're interested, you go. Very affordable too.
Yeah.
You can go there, you see live theater. Sometimes it's a home run, sometimes it's not, but that's the thing I like about it.
Yeah, no, it's really all encompassing for the world that we kind of live in, of stand-ups and sketch artists and theater people and TV people, whatever. It kind of is just all-encompassingly great for everybody, and they have passes that you can buy like a chunk, because some people just come to Toronto just for the Fringe and just watch 30 or 40 shows. Like there's a
here's what I think you should do. So on the last day, the last show, $1,000 ticket, $1,000 per ticket, and people are like, $1,000? Well,
they have to come and see it.
People go, what could be worth $1,000? Well, St. Vladimir, number 1.
If I can get StubHub involved in this, because everybody buys tickets on StubHub, and if it's a jacked up price, I mean, the ACC can pull it off. Our show,
I'll give you $2,000 for that ticket.
Not the same history as the Leafs, but I mean, $1,000 ticket, that's a show people want to see.
That is a show people want to see.
Chris Gibbs directing.
Yeah.
That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. We had we had a short list of directors that we wanted to reach out to that we knew that not some of them we knew personally and others we didn't know as well. And we knew Chris just from the Second Cities, but we didn't really know him that well, just from a couple shows that he had done. And I used to work at the Second City as well, so I just remember watching him do his one-man shows and stuff. And oh man, yeah, he just like we reached out and we sat down and me and my buddy were like, please, just hopefully one of these people just say yes to directing, and he was awesome, such a great creative mind, and he's just such a humble dude. He's like, oh, I don't know how this is gonna go, and I'm just like, yeah, but like I'm just thinking all the things that he's done have been so funny, and he really did just amp kind of everything up, you know what I mean, in the right way, not necessarily like energy or anything like that, but anything that needed to go in we needed help to put things in the right direction. We had written it, you're on the inside, it's hard to see outside the box.
Sure.
And Chris really opened up a lot of doors for us.
Is it hard selling your idea to him? Is like when you guys meet, because I'm guessing you guys sit down in front of him and say, "This is our play. This is what we feel." And because honestly, from his point of view, it better be worth doing if he's going to do it.
For sure,
he's not going to go in there if it's shit.
Yeah, and you're so close to it. You've spent how long did it take to do this, to write this?
We gave ourselves a 5-week deadline. To write
5 weeks?
Yeah.
Really?
Because we had you find out in December if you got into the Fringe lottery, and then we were on the waiting list. So we found out mid-March. So we gave ourselves like the end of March to April, the end of April to get it done. Because we had to get going.
You wrote hard then.
We wrote hard, yeah. It was one first draft, and then we're bringing it to Chris just like,
See, because that would be a little nerve-wracking because he goes, okay, just reading it, guys. You're Ryan. Who plays the zombie?
Yeah.
Because at some point it's like, okay, we're going to clean this up a little bit here.
Yeah. And I think, and because of his comedic background, we're all pretty loose, and we're not stuck to any lines,
No.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and I have improv is my background. So I'm just like, it's hard for me to stick to the line sometimes.
Yeah.
But
who do you think's funny? I mean, you got a background in it. When you look at it and go, okay, well, not that you think you're that guy, but you're like, okay, I love this guy, this girl. Who is it for you?
What's funny? Because you would think like in the TV film world, people that I will go like I'll watch anything that they do.
Yes.
Because there's kind of hit and miss for everything, but it's so weird because Toronto's got such a huge comedy community, but not very well known.
That's correct. That's right.
And I mean, I know not everybody's going to know the names necessarily in the city because it's a small, a small community in the minds of people that don't know comedy. But it's crazy because like you say that, and the people that come to my mind are people that I watch, around the city, stand-ups.
What stand-ups do you like?
Improvisers.
Some of them come on the show, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little biased because I've got like good friends that do stand-up. My producing and writing partner Andrew Chapman. He's a solid stand-up. He just won the best Canadian or best album for the Canadian Comedy Awards 2018. So he's up there for sure. I think Rob Bebenek might have been in the show before. Super talented guy. Jeff Paul, a couple of Yuck Yucks guys, like really funny.
Now, do you do Yucks as well or no?
No, I did stand up once, and it wasn't. It went okay. It went okay. I had done improv for a few years, so I had a stage wasn't the issue. It was just
it's a different skill set, though.
Jokes.
It's a different skill set. I've been reading. You remember when Martin Short came on our show, and so I've had this book forever, and I started reading it. The book is fantastic, by the way. The book is unbelievable, and it has a lot of different stories, including his evolution of how to get into SCTV, the whole Saturday Night Live, back to and then doing movies and so on. But he said, he tried stand up once, and it was Carol Pope of Rough Trade asked him to open up. And at that time, that would have been a weird, almost punk scene thing.
Yeah.
And he said he just got destroyed.
Oh,
and his level of humor, he tried to do, just a bunch of stuff. And he's like, I'll never do that. John Candy wasn't a stand-up.
Yeah, that'd be a tough go for like a Martin Short style to go into a punk rock show. I feel like he literally would get eaten alive.
And he did. He said people were like they were. saying bad things to him.
That guy was a hardcore punk rocker.
Yeah.
He ate the head off.
See,
of
and
my shirt.
I thought maybe you would be good at comedy because you're a born and raised Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh my
gosh. That's a comedy right there, isn't it?
Oh, honestly, nobody has a greater sense of humor than the Browns fans.
See?
You go online, I tell you, there's some grade A material for Cleveland Browns material.
You got to be happy with what the team's done in the offseason, though, because this actually looks like this team could start to generate in the right direction. The receivers, the new quarterback, not that he's good, but you got the running back.
Could they win 5 games this year?
I think they could win 5 games.
I think they can win 5 games.
Yeah, I mean, this is I've born and raised a Cleveland Browns fan, so I say it's like your bad seed brother who continues to go to jail and back out. This is my relationship with the Cleveland Browns, where it's like, I love you. I'm going to give you a second chance. Okay, this is the year. You're going to change your life around. And then, September 1st rolls around. Brother goes right back to jail.
Yeah.
Like I told myself not to trust him this year, but you know what? Yeah, without getting too, it's so hard to like.
Why Cleveland?
Yeah, I was just my dad had a connection with Cleveland, some friends that were there, and he grew up in Welland, Ontario, so they got all the Buffalo games. Everybody's a Buffalo fan, so he's like, I'm not watching Buffalo. And this was when Cleveland was in their heyday, the only heyday.
The Vinny Testaverde, like back.
No, this would have been like Jim Brown.
Oh, you're talking Jim Brown.
The real heyday. When they won things.
The 1960s.
Right. Before the Super Bowl existed.
Yeah,
so I was like, I remember finding friends on Facebook when I was like in grade, people that I hadn't seen since grade 2. They found me on Facebook years later, and they're like, "Oh, still a Browns fan, I see." So my whole life has just been just heartache and just.
I'm not that
sad.
far away from you. I'm a Jets fan.
Okay.
So we're relatives.
Yeah. So it's hard to stay like just humble, because like this year it's like 2 draft picks and all these amazing things that are happening. It's like, okay, but as a Browns fan, anything can go wrong. We've been in moments where just like there's 40 seconds left on the clock. We're up by 3 touchdowns. This is great. We've won, and somehow Cleveland will lose that game.
No,
like
it's a heartbreak. I mean, it is, and it's what I always find amazing is that every Sunday, that thing is basically sold out.
Oh yeah,
basically. I mean,
up until around like November, December.
Well, no,
but it
fades.
Yeah,
it fades. But then there's always throw ball snowing, and they love that too.
They'll find a way to entertain themselves. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I always remember, and it was years ago. We talked to. I think his last name was Johansson too. I want to say it's Johansson. He was the play-by-play guy for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they went through some terrible times. So I said, give me an example of when it's just the game is just dying and there's way too much time left. He goes, well, we've started doing something called Love Boat Trivia.
Oh my!
He goes, sometimes, unfortunately, it started in the 3rd quarter.
Oh, no.
Wow! Just trivia on like as a broadcaster.
Yeah. So it's like there's passing incomplete. It's going to be 3rd and 14th. By the way. Who was Gopher's cousin when Barbie Benton was the millionaire mistress or whatever? Like it's Love Boat Trivia.
See, I could, oddly enough, I could kind of live with that, with that as a football fan, as just knowing that your team is so bad. But the thing with the Browns that makes it awfully, just horribly painful to watch every week. I don't know how. I usually get to the 3rd quarter and eventually shut it off and then turn it back on and then shut it off again.
But see, that's the addiction. It's like the girl that hurt you keep going back to that girl.
Yeah, because you know that all of a sudden in the 4th quarter they won or some of that. But it's like, but every game is close. They'll play the Jets and they'll lose by 2 points. They'll play the Patriots. They'll lose by 2 points.
Pittsburgh games are always crazy. Pittsburgh games are crazy.
They do cover a lot of games from a betting perspective, because we do a lot of betting here.
We're disgusting.
It's my favorite always looking at the Browns as double-digit dogs.
Yeah,
and it's like they'll cover that number.
And you do take them quite a bit.
Yes.
And they do cover.
And I'm like, and I don't. Maybe I should be betting more on the spread. Because
see, this is what you need.
2 points, I'm like, no, like you had it. There's 2 seconds left.
Yeah. So if you add gambling to it, this will balance out the pain. It's like they lost by 27 points, not 28. No, win.
And that's
you know, that takes away the pain.
A lot better.
Yeah.
But I would do. I remember doing a couple like I didn't do fantasy or anything like that, but I did. Just your basic
pools.
Yeah, just basic pools, whatever. But it was like anytime I bet against them, they won, and then anytime I bet for them, they lost. I did it for a couple years, and I'm like, am I controlling the future of the Browns with my hands? Like if I just bet, against them every week, will they win and go to the playoff?
Well, that's where people get into it. Well, I was wearing these socks. I go, don't get into that because that's goalie talk, right? That's that you get into the goalie
that's how
area.
it was with the Jets in this playoff, man.
Oh, certain things, certain shirts,
certain things. It's like okay, they won last game. They, honestly, yeah, it's.
That's okay. That's the beauty of it. So once again, False East. So we're saying it's an homage, but not a parody. We're not saying a parody necessarily.
No,
but it is comedy.
Yeah, we originally thought that we were going to try to parody it, but it just kind of steered in a different direction because I do enjoy the dramatic side of acting with the TV stuff and whatnot, and then I do this other side of like sketch comedy and whatnot. So we kind of were able to kind of meld both worlds, so we couldn't really make it a parody.
Right.
And parodies are actually really hard to write.
They're harder than people think.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we just kind of wrote in the stylings to our degree. I mean, Sam Shepard's unbelievable, but we did our best to try to pay tribute to.
So next show is Friday, 8:30 at St. Vladimir's, Spadina and Harbor.
Yeah, just south of Harbor there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to this church, by the way. I'm obsessed by now.
You can spend some time in the church. You go to the museum, the Ukrainian museum there. I mean, you can spend a whole evening at the St. Vladimir Theater, catch a show.
Are you active on social media at all, and where can they find you?
I am. Yeah, Ryan. I'm on Instagram, Ryan Turner 6, and through this show, I'm like, I guess I should post more than every 3 months, and like really, like, is this picture Instagram worthy? Like, none of my 200 followers care. Like, but yeah, so it's I've been promoting the show, and
very good.
I even did a story out here. I think I did it right.
Awesome. Okay.
Good for you,
well,
Ryan. Thanks so much for
thank
coming
you
in.
Guys. This was awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
That is Ryan Turner. False East is the name of the show at St. Vladimir's. Yes. On the other side, we'll come back. We'll talk some more stuff that we got to get to. But here's something that for the Caddyshack fans.
Oh yeah.
A deleted scene. A deleted scene that maybe you haven't seen before. Most of us didn't, as it was cut, and it was yet another. As you know, if you know the history of that movie, that Chevy Chase and Bill Murray weren't exactly friends when this was shot. So one of the scenes that was cut was one between Chevy Chase, Bill Murray. This is how it looked.
How's it going, Frank?
Morning, Carl. How you doing?
Pretty good. Good morning, Mr. Noonan.
Okay there, Carl.
How you doing?
Okay.
How's your game, Ty?
It's pretty good. I'm loosening up a bit.
Mind if I show you a little something? I've been watching you and seeing what the hell you're up to, and this is what I see.
That's a club.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Here's you, see?
Yeah, that's me. Mm-hmm.
Too fast.
Very fast.
What's too fast? You're coming back too fast. So you're coming back here, you're breaking in around here. By the time you get down to here, see, you've lost it all. And by the time you get down here to your contact zone, you may as well be playing on the ladies' tee. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can I hit this one?
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you hit that one out of here? Go ahead, enjoy it. It's good.
I think I remember how this is done. Let me see. I think I got a really good deal. See, I'm easy now, and I'm back real slow, see?
Well, that's...
I think that's going to be pretty long. I mean,
that's the way out of here. Oh, yeah.
I could have done a little bit
Carl.
better.
Thanks a lot.
That gives you an idea.
Why don't you try another one? Here you go.
Let me,
Hey, our balls, hey!
This will be kind of quick now, but...
no, but not as slow in the backswing.
Slow in the backswing.
We'll
You
get
got
out
to take
there
it back
and take a look
slow.
at where it landed.
Still taking it back very slowly.
Hey, stop!
Back, slow.
And I'm back. And there's all of it.
That's
there's
good.
all of it.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think that
it.
one's going to work.
That should be there, huh? Let's take a look at that. Lenny, you'll watch that, won't you?
Come back here!
Copper, Webb. Come on, Copper.
Mr. Webb? Sir?
There it is, the cut scene from Caddyshack, one of my favorite movies, as it is most people know every line. You know, Bill Murray made himself even more of a legend during that time. You're watching Raw Mike Richards, either on the dedicated YouTube channel or on the actual website. Remember to subscribe. I see a lot of people are certainly doing it. We have seen some nice numbers pop up. So once again, down there in the corner of that screen right there where my head is, you just see the red subscribe, hit it, you're in, or subscribe to the actual website. We have, as you might have seen yesterday, the disastrous World Cup pool.
Woof.
Where good luck with whoever you're picking, whoever that happens to be. And I'm just trying to find this, which, of course, tennis is not my thing.
No.
Wimbledon was, because I was a Bjorn Borg fan, and Borg was going to play McEnroe. There were going to be fireworks. It was going to be awesome. But Eugenie Bouchard, where do you find this?
She lost today.
Oh, she did lose?
Yeah, she lost today.
Bouchard lost to, this is so slow. Awful. How do you take our money, Bill Gates? You don't deserve that money. Here's she lost to someone named Barty. That's not good. The only other Barty I know is Dev, are you paying attention here? Is Billy Barty? Did she lose to Billy Barty?
No, I don't think she did.
I think she might have lost to this guy.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
This is your big moment, Bill.
This is it.
I would take it, Billy. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. You lose to Billy Barty. You.
Hey. Come on.
You got it.
Although he can bowl. Look at that. That's a healthy walk. Jeannie throwing a rack against the wall. I'm losing to midgets now. Jeannie, no. You know who was a winner? Tell you who the winner is.
Dev?
No. Not with that shirt. No. I'm saying, what does it say on the front, by the way? What is it? Got a weird thing on there?
PlayStation.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm sure that's a magnet for the ladies here on King Street. See, he doesn't realize we're not even giving him the third microphone like Russell, so he just gets beaten up and doesn't get a chance. A winner, Joey Chestnut.
Yes.
Nathan's
hot dogs.
Hot dogs. I don't know how many times he's won that now. Like he's like a freak champion. Here's what. Okay, I like hot dogs.
I love hot dogs, but I'll eat 2 and be happy.
2 would be that's going to be. And people go. You realize, Mike, that the Nathan's hot dog. It's a little smaller than the regular hot dog. Yeah, but he's eating like 800 of them in 10 minutes. It is almost sickening to watch it, and yet he wins again. So this is a courtesy of ESPN and Property. I think it's the National. How do they call it? Not professional eaters, competitive eating,
something like that.
We had the president on one time.
Right.
It's a real thing. Thousands of people show up to Coney Island to watch people like Joey Chestnut stuff their faces like a squirrel.
When all the world's languages are poured into a single bowl, the word recognizable to all will be freedom. The force that binds
This isn't too over top for a hot dog eating competition.
Our children, and he will fight at any cost for its cause.
He falls down.
Is under the burden until his bones are cracked and splintered and scraped like chalk on pavement. Until he lies, coins on his eyes, duty done, wages paid, battle won, he will fight. For he is the champion of now and of always, of north and of south,
easy,
of the air, of the fire, of the sea, of the land, of the free, of the 4th of July, of one nation, under God.
Wow.
Indivisible. He is champion.
Trump must love this guy.
Joey Chestnut.
There he is, Joey Chestnut. Look at this build-up.
11th title on the line. The Nathan's record, the world record, all on the line. Coming up next.
On the Ocho.
The corner of Surf and Stillwell at Coney Island, opened in 1916 by Nathan Handwerker, who had immigrated.
Look at that, Dave, though. Come on. Look at it. Look what they're doing. Look what he does. How are you not throwing up? And then some guys really. Does that look fun?
Nope.
Devin, does that look fun to you?
Dog pace.
Sincardi's starting to make up some time here. Yep. Jeffrey Esper.
That pace is getting a little tight right now, Melanie Collins.
Oh, that looks awful.
Talking about the pacing. Well, Joey said
Even Sean Levine would think this is gross.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
he's have to be at the 48 or 50 dog mark in 5 minutes.
50 dog mark at 5 minutes, Dave. 50.
Could be because of the heat out here, guys.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple of years ago.
We talked about it. We went down to the stand. I mean, you know, they broadcast skills. But look at the people showing up for it.
Eaters that are competing. Chestnut still
Maybe
well
they feed
ahead
the crowd too. I don't know.
That margin, and you look at some of the eaters. You look at Darren Breeden. I think that it's looking like food karaoke. He's mimicking exactly what Joey does. 2 dogs, 2 buns, dunk, eat. 2 dogs, 2 buns, dunk, eat. But I could grow my hair out like Steven Tyler. It doesn't mean I'm going to hit the high notes on Dream On. And I want to ask you while we have a moment before we get to the end, whatever happened to Liv Tyler? I was a fan.
Uh-oh.
She was
Edit.
getting rock solid in
okay.
Armageddon. I feel like kind of fell off after that.
I'm watching too much Netflix, maybe.
I've got a couple recommendations for you. We'll talk about that in 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Chestnut still well ahead of the field.
Okay,
but
this is revolting. I mean, it's safe to say that he went on to win, which is just.
Where's the best place you had a hot dog?
Well, usually the street ones. Sometimes the
Street ones
guys
are pretty good.
Really
Yep.
good.
Yep.
You know, some of the ones in Toronto are pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I need the big great bun, and I
Yep.
need the jumbo, and it's got for me. I like the all beef.
Yeah,
I like all beef.
Exactly. 3 places in particular. There's a place in Winnipeg just outside of the city limits called the Half Moon, where they specialize in hot dogs. Fantastic. Yankee Stadium, old Yankee Stadium. They used to serve them there in the actual press box. So fantastic. And believe it or not, Montreal at the Bell Center.
Oh,
first period, they have hot dogs for everybody. People line up like it's the greatest thing in the world. It's just a common hot dog. And their bun is almost like a piece of bread, but it's cut like a bun, so it's not a hot dog bun.
Well,
Do you know
they
what
used
I'm
to
saying?
have the form. They used to have the toasties.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah,
it.
and those
So-
were people fought over the
Yes.
the actual grill that made those things.
Yeah, nothing special about it, but it's just
Toasted
for that,
bun,
for
though.
that place. It's
Yeah.
like okay, because I've seen them in stores once in a while, and when I do see them, it's like I'm going to get them this time.
Yeah.
So, but no.
First time I went to the Bell Center, first time I saw in the NHL. Number one, when that new glass came in, right? All that seamless grass and how it was, and then in the of course it was Montreal, so it was fun. Before certainly Toronto had it, it was like I could get Ryan Ginger. So I said to Chantel, I said, so I could get a double Ryan Ginger, like 2 double Ryan Gingers. Bien sûr, monsieur, if you could have 3. 3 of them or triple, whatever you want. I can get 2 triple. So I was coming in double fisted with triple Ryan Gingers.
Wow.
Do not remember that third period.
I was going to say.
I think I was sitting on
or the opposition that Montreal was playing. That night.
I remember it was Boston. I remember they were playing Boston.
Good game.
But I think I also remember at one point sitting on a white-haired gentleman who was on the side, sitting on his lap, going, "Come on, doggy! Come on, little doggy!" I think it was Jean Beliveau.
You think it was?
Could you get off me, please? Yeah, that's how he talks. He talks like Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's how he talks.
Do you stack your hot dog? Like what's common?
On the hot dog for
the
me?
hot dog, yeah.
So I am doing ketchup. I know some people don't like ketchup.
Yeah.
Mustard
Yes,
for sure.
yes.
And if they got onions, then onions are going
Onions,
on.
yes.
Yeah.
Do you like them raw or do you like them caramelized? Because I like them both.
I like them both.
I go more raw because it's just easier.
Yeah. Rarely are you going to, I mean, if you get caramelized there, I mean, good on you. But I'll take both.
Earlier this year, you add a strip of bacon.
Oh, yeah, bacon would be awesome.
And here's where I got from you. This is all your fault.
Okay.
Remember the Balderson cheese you served that one time I came to your house?
Yeah.
You shave it down.
Yeah.
And you sprinkle it and let it melt on top.
That's gold. I mean, you got all the elements in there.
I'm just saying.
The elements.
And that Balderson cheese is out. Like I think it's a 10-year-old cheese.
Yes, but you haven't had. I haven't given you what's called the Bellavitano cheese.
No.
From Wisconsin.
No. See,
the
that
Merlot cheese.
I would go over that too.
See, when you have that at my house, Stephen Rapp never had that.
No, he didn't.
And you're not allowed to either with the bacon. Remember that. People are watching. No, I'll give you the. It's unbelievable.
Because it melts on, and it's like you have yourself like a cheese bacon dog.
Yeah.
With onions, ketchup, relish, mustard, everything. It looks like a big, and even now this is very hard to do because you don't want to do it just remotely for it, but even chili on a dog tastes good too. but you can't really make it at home because then you're making a pot of chili, and it's like, what am I going to do with the rest of it if nobody else is going to eat it? You know what I mean? Maybe you freeze it. I don't know, but it's chili dogs taste great.
Chili dogs are awesome. Okay, before we go, here's some real weirdness. Now, I think we will play back. This is back in late 70s or 80s with Steven Seagal. It's 1993. So we started in a minute to, so we got it all set up. So Steven Seagal, this is an Aikido demonstration. This really is him, by the way. This really is him. So when you see him do this stuff in the movies, it's based on this martial art called Aikido. So here's the real footage. Let's roll this. See, there's the bowing, right? The drums, and then the bowing once again. A lot of bowing here, and then. Oh, there you go, motherfucker. Yeah, see that? You like that? Come here, motherfucker. So this is early Steven Seagal's like, you think you're a tough guy? Come here, motherfucker. Yeah, see, I don't know if he says that every time he flips the guy, but I think he come here for a second, motherfucker. You're not so tough. How about that? Have you seen this girl? You a tough guy? Ooh. Stop throwing me down. Yeah, tough guy, motherfucker. See, there's the one guy. He taps out. New guy comes in. Oh yeah, how about that, motherfucker? Okay, so this goes on. This goes on for quite a long time. It's there you go, motherfucker. Okay, so then I come across. This is 2014. Go ahead, roll it. Steven Seagal in Spain. Now, people are saying, well, what could this possibly be? Go ahead, roll it. This is some sort of blues festival?
Yep.
Steven Seagal is playing the guitar. Because I think I knew he did this at a guitar collection. But then he's going to sing. This is really Steven Seagal. This is not... Okay, so the band's pretty good. Steven's actually playing in this thing. The band's good. So there he is playing. How weird does this look? And now, the awesomeness of Steven Seagal singing the blues. That's not bad. So you people are enjoying this? Here we go.
I won't wake up in the morning, I believe I'll dust my broom. Well, I wake up in the morning, I believe I'll dust my broom.
And that's in the morning. I believe that's morning.
I'm gonna quit the gal I'm loving while my friend will have my room.
Yeah, the only thing that's not good about it is he's not breaking anyone's arm or he's not putting a fork in someone's head. Yeah.
I do prefer that.
Yeah. I think I would do that to myself if I had to listen to more of this.
What?
No.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
I wake up in the morning.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Hell, yeah, with Steven.
It's time.
I would like to thank Ryan Turner, who's taking part in Toronto's Fringe Festival. It's 30th year of that in this city. His show is called False East, a homage, if you will, to Sam Shepard at the St. Vladimir Church. I got to see this church. Is there blood? There's got to be blood.
Let's get ready to rock.
You know, where you keep the holy water, it's got to be like, oh, it's bubbling blood. I know, people. Okay, whatever. Don't go ahead, get mad. St. Vladimir. What happened to St. Stephen? There's St. Mike's. Is there St.
Yes.
David?
Yeah, St. David, St. Mike's.
No St. Devin.
No,
nope.
nothing.
Nope. No one's going to do it. Ever.